Okay, welcome to Position Partners Pocket Session 105. Today we're going to have a look at creating an enclosed boundary to create a DTM up to of this irregular data set. If we zoom in around the edges here, the data is just made up of points, but we want to define the edge with a boundary that is tight into the points around the perimeter. Okay, if we were to create a DTM just as the data is there, we'd end up with long triangles around the edges that would have to be either deleted or modified or dealt with in some way. Okay, so the option we're going to use to create our boundary is under the Surface menu, Surface, Create Enclosing Boundary. Our selection can be all. The methods we've got, we can create a convex boundary, which, as you can see by the image, will use an algorithm that will create a boundary encompassing the data set. A tight boundary, which is the one we're going to use, that will keep it tight into the points, or a closed boundary, which is really a selection option. So if we say tight boundary, OK there. And you can see that a boundary has been created. If we zoom in around the edges, this is the boundary that we're after. Okay, this string line can be modified, or this boundary can be modified just by holding the Shift key down, hover over a vertice and make a change. Okay, we're going to leave that alone. Zoom extents. And now create a surface up to that boundary. Surface, create DTM, active layers, boundary. Yep, we want to trim to this boundary. The boundary that was created by default was called BND01, and we want to delete triangles outside the boundary. Okay there. Give the DTM a name. We'll overwrite the existing DTM. So if you look down at the bottom left of screen, you'll see the DTM has been created. Now it's trimming around the edges of the boundary. Okay, so we can now have a look around the edges and see that our DTM, our triangles of our DTM have been trimmed up to the boundary line. Zoom extents. Now if we want to visualize that, we can go View, 3D View, Active Layers, select the existing DTM, no need to transfer line work, and OK. And we can see that that's been formed nicely around the edge, and we've got a reasonable DTM.